About a week after the Yankees learned that they'll be losing Luis Gil, the Rookie of the Year, for 3+ months, it's been announced that Gerrit Cole has been recommended Tommy John. What in the world is going on in Yankee world? Not only that, but Giancarlo Stanton, he might need a procedure on both elbows, which would end his season, and a former Yankee, no, not Juan Soto, he is tearing it up with the Mets. We're talking about Clay Holmes, starting pitcher Clay Holmes. We also have to break down the fact that the A's have spent the second most amount of money in the entire American League. Lawrence Butler, he is the most recent beneficiary of that, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he officially revealed his extension number, and the Blue Jays are kind of feeling exposed right now because Vladdy just flat out said, yeah, I was not asking for Juan Soto money. I thought I had a fair offer on the table. So we'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap. And sorry for not posting a recap over the last few days. I was traveling to Arizona. I got to play MLB The Show 25 early. I met Ellie De La Cruz. I got to play against Tristan McKenzie. It was crazy. So make sure you guys head on over to Fuzzy Gaming because we're going to be doing console giveaways, MLB The Show 25 giveaways. I have a lot of hope for this year, so I'll put my channel in the comments down below. Before we talk about Gerrit Cole and the Yankees, I do want to break down a few things involving extensions. One that actually happened, one that did not. So 23-year-old Lawrence Butler, he got a 7-year, nearly $70 million extension, $65.5 million. The Athletics have now spent the second most in the entire American League this offseason, just behind the New York Yankees. They have committed $200+ million between the Rooker extension. There was the Luis Severino signing. They traded for Jeffrey Springs and took on some money. Jose Leclerc and a few other guys. I mean, the A's are going to be a lot better this year and going forward. By the way, Lawrence Butler had a 70-ish game stretch last year where he hit 315 with 20 home runs, 14 stolen bases, and almost 1,000 OPS. He deserves every penny of this extension. What are your expectations for the A's moving forward? Do you think that they can be a surprise playoff team this year, or are they building for 2026 and beyond? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kind of exposed the Blue Jays, and of course, I wasn't here to report on him. I'm sad I was away, but again, I had a lot of fun playing MLB The Show 25. But while I was out there, Vladdy revealed his extension numbers, not the exact amount, but basically what he said is that he wanted 14-ish, 15-ish million years at less than $600 million. Now remember, the Blue Jays offered him like $340 million over this past offseason, which is just not enough considering his age and offensive ceiling. He's kind of maybe, I'm not going to say he's full-blown Miguel Cabrera, but he's kind of Miggy in the making. If he can keep this up, I feel like what he asked for, 14, 15 years at less than $600 million, I'm not going to lie, that makes a lot of sense for what guys are getting in terms of money. Now that Ohtani had $700 million, Juan Soto got $700+ million, less than $600 for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in his prime, I feel like that's just the going rate nowadays. So let me know, who do you think is going to come out on top in this whole negotiation process? Do you think that Vladdy's going to break out even more and maybe ask for $600+ million in free agency? Or do you think that the reverse is going to happen and the Blue Jays are going to get the last laugh and say, hey, we offered you a fair contract and you bet on yourself and you lost? All right, let's talk about Gerrit Cole. Actually, a few small things I do want to talk about in terms of health updates. Jurickson Profar had a scary moment in left field. Now, luckily for Jurickson, it's only a bone bruise. It still sucks, but the Braves are saying he should not be out for too long. He's actually reportedly going to be ready for opening day. Francisco Alvarez will not be ready for opening day. This one sucks. He broke a hamate bone. That is when you swing the bat and your metacarpal or something, whatever, I think a hamate is a metacarpal, I don't know, but something in your hand just kind of folds under the pressure and snaps a little bit. He's out for up to 8 weeks. Grayson Rodriguez, please be okay. He won't even touch a baseball for the next 10 days, says the Orioles. They say it's not ligament damage, but we're just praying at this point that it's kind of a rest up and you'll be okay issue. We can't really say the same about Gerrit Cole because it's basically been confirmed that it's more than just a rest issue. There's something in terms of structural damage to that elbow, but the extent of it has yet to be determined. Although the first imaging of the elbow has been revealed by doctors and they've recommended Tommy John. So what are the Yankees and Gerrit Cole doing? They're trying to stay optimistic and hopeful and get a second opinion. But again, this comes after Luis Gil was announced that he's going to be missing 3+ months. You still have Max Fried. Thank goodness for that signing. You have a bearded Carlos Rodon. Maybe bearded Carlos Rodon is going to have a bit more confidence and be the Giants version of himself. Clark Schmidt is still very good. Hopefully he comes back healthy. And also not trading Marcus Stroman has been a godsend so far because they're going to need him to eat a lot of innings, and he was actually pretty good the first 15 to 17 starts of 2024 before he fell off. They added Carlos Carrasco, Cookie, and then they got Will Warren. He could pitch some innings as well. He kind of reminds me of Michael King. Me personally, I feel like the Yankees, I mean, they're going to rely on their guys, yes, but I feel like because of the Stanton issue and I mean, the Stanton issue is pretty bad on paper. It seems like he might need a operation on both elbows, and if that happens, he's done for the year. So they might be in the market for a Sandy Alcantara, maybe a Dylan Cease, because he's going to be a free agent soon. Maybe Nolan Arenado to replace the offensive production of Giancarlo Stanton. And he does stay a little bit healthier, plus Nolan with that short porch in right field, maybe he can get a few cheap home runs. I don't know. But that's why Yankees fans have been so adamant about getting a Juan Soto back and really maximizing the window that they had, because windows they can close like that. And if Gerrit Cole is out with Tommy John and Stanton can't play, and they don't fill those gaps with a Nolan Arenado or a Cease or an Alcantara, I'm not saying the Yankees are going to miss the playoffs, but I don't even know if they're going to be the best team in their division. I mean, the Orioles are good. The Red Sox, they might be the sneakiest team in baseball. They could run away with that division if the Orioles and Yankees aren't careful. And staying with the Yankees, I mean, this is just salt in the wound. Clay Holmes has been prime Max Scherzer this spring training. Emphasis on the words spring and training. Take this with a grain of salt. I've said this all offseason long. He had 8 strikeouts in yesterday's outing in 3 2/3 innings. He literally looks like he could be the next Michael King. Let's talk about some other spring training highlights. Jacob deGrom, he made his spring debut, and he debuted with 2 perfect frames. I just need Jacob to throw 150 innings, not 250, anything crazy like that, but limit his usage a tiny bit. 150 healthy innings from deGrom. He's going to have 220 strikeouts, I think. Christian Yelich is coming back from that back issue. I think he had a home run, so we know that he played like an all-star before his season ended early. He was insane last year. Pete Crow Armstrong is now showing off the bat, so we know he's a platinum defender. He might be able to steal 45, 50 bags. He could get MVP votes if the bat stays like this. He's got 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, because I believe one of them was a grand slam. He's got 2 stolen bases, and he's hitting .520 in spring. Jack Caglioni's up to 3 home runs. I saw him at the MLB The Show Player Lounge, but I got a little bit nervous, so I did not ask for a picture. He's an absolute freak of nature. This ball went 444 feet, and honestly, it says that he's 6'5". I think that might be a lie. Eugenio Suarez, just like PCA, he had a grand slam as well, so he is leading spring with 13 RBIs. Trace Thompson, yes, the brother of Klay Thompson, he's getting maybe one last chance to make a big league roster, and he's taking advantage of it to like the highest degree. 6 home runs already. He leads all of spring, and his 13 RBIs is second to Eugenio Suarez. Gage Workman, he also has 13 RBIs, and if you don't know who that is, it's fine. He was a Rule 5 pick, but he is battling to steal some third base ABs for the Cubs. He's got 3 home runs and 2 stolen bases. He has to stay on the team. Otherwise, if he doesn't make the opening day roster, he goes back to, what team did he come from? I just looked it up. He was a Rule 5 draft pick. He came from the Tigers, and also, I didn't even mention this. He did, in fact, make the opening day roster. Attaboy Gage. Rhys Hoskins has 4 home runs. I wanted to show this real quick. I'm hoping that he bounces back with the on-base percentage. Matt Chapman, he's been making plays left and right defensively, and he's up to 4 home runs as well. Gavin Williams is throwing 98+ miles an hour. He wasn't in spring training last year because he hurt his elbow early in the season. He has 16 strikeouts in 8 innings. He's looking absolutely disgusting. Same with Garrett Crochet. 14 strikeouts in 6 innings. He is not allowed an earn rate. I'm telling you, the Boston Red Sox are going to be so good this year. Max Scherzer, as well as Corbin Burnes, they're looking as advertised, kind of, because Scherzer, he's trying to bounce back. He's looking like prime Mad Max. He has 14 strikeouts. Burnes, he has, I think, 14 strikeouts as well. Only 1 earned run allowed the entire spring. And Jared Jones, he's racking up the strikeouts as well. He's just behind with 13 strikeouts. If Jared Jones does not tire out like he did last year, and you have Paul Skeens as the ace, maybe a Bubba Chandler debut was coming around the corner, the Pirates rotation is going to be one of the nastiest we've seen in quite some time, because they all throw 100 with disgusting off-speed stuff. Today's recap is in the books. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just a reminder, head on over to Fuzzy Gaming, because MLB The Show 25, I have so much hope for it.